If you look in the mirror and you think, damn, I wish I had a face card like Gojo, then you are not alone. As somebody who struggled with facial insecurity for years, I understand. But after analyzing countless anime men, I realized that there are 3 facial pillars that all of these gorgeous anime characters have in common. So in today's video, I'm going to show you what those pillars are and what you need to do to unlock that lethal face card. But Kevin, those guys are handsome because they're dropped that way. Lol, don't care. Let's get pretty. The first pillar is where you set the foundations for everything that makes a lethal face card lethal. And it's like this. In Sakamoto days, Sakamoto Taro is a big, blubbery, chubby dad bod convenience store clerk. His face is rounded, he's puffy, and he jiggles when he walks. But in many moments of the anime, we see him once again at his prime. The white-haired, handsome Giga Chad who could kill you in seconds. Now, you tell me, between these 2 forms, who is objectively more attractive? 99% of us will of course say Prime Sakamoto. 1% of us are weirdos. But how come we think that this guy is better looking than this guy? Well, it's because Prime Sakamoto has a far better face base than Fat Sakamoto. And one of the key foundations of having a good face base is making sure that all your features are as sharp and defined as possible. We're talking cheekbones, sharp chin, sharp eyebrows. This automatically signals to our monkey brains, well, this guy healthy, this guy strong, this guy must know how to survive tiger attack. And one of the simplest ways to get those sharper features is by pulling a Sakamoto and of course losing fat. If you have naturally sharp cheekbones, good jawline, and sharp features in general, but it's covered in layers and layers and layers of blubber, nobody is going to see it. So lose weight, eat at a calorie deficit, start working out. Very simple. But for most of you out there, just losing the fat isn't going to cut it. Because once those layers of fat are gone, or you are already skinny, you're going to realize that your face isn't as sharp as you thought it was going to be. And that's going to ruin your face base and, more importantly, your confidence. So to fix that, we need to start working on these bones and these muscles. I mean, take a look at Sung Jin Woo's glow up. As you can see, one of the key things that drastically changed about his face was his jawline. He just keeps evolving. And one of the most important things that can influence whether or not you have a good or bad jawline is the way you breathe. Take a look at this gent. This guy had a very normal, pretty good looking face at age 10. And then tragedy struck. He got a pet hamster. And unfortunately, he was allergic to that hamster, which forced him to breathe through his mouth because his nose was clogged up. And over time, his eyes started to droop, his chin started to recede, this part of the face got much longer. The reason is, if you are constantly breathing through your mouth, your tongue isn't going to sit in the right place. It's like having a house with no support beams. Everything's just going to sort of collapse. And then you become, well, him. Versus if you have correct tongue posture, which is just lightly pressing against the roof of your mouth, slightly behind your teeth, your facial structure will actually develop well. Your upper and lower jaw start growing forward. Your dental arch, which is just a fancy term for the top of your mouth, widens as well, which leads to a broader, sharper looking jawline, better facial structure, facial development, better teeth, and of course, a much better face base. Now, I know there are many looks maxer content creators who claim to have the best methods of improving your jaw, whether that's the towel method, chewing hard gum, or doing crystal meth. Clavicular. Now, you can do all of that, not the meth one though, but honestly, I don't think any of that is necessary. I certainly never did any of these, and look at my jaw. Not bad. But everything I just told you and listed, its main goal is just to improve and grow these muscles, the masseter muscles, which is just your chewing muscles. When these start to grow, they help to outline that sharp jawline. Honestly, I don't think any of those are necessary to work the masseter muscles. But there is one thing that I highly recommend if you want to improve not only your masseter muscles, but also your jaw structure and your face structure. Now, there is a reason why people like the Hadza tribe in Africa have super well-developed teeth, jaws, and facial muscles. Without the use of any of these tools, they don't have access to gum or crystal meth. When you see how these people live, hunt, and eat, you'll notice one thing. The foods that they're eating are tougher and require more effort and force to chew, thus helping them to develop their jaw muscles and promoting that forward facial growth. You'll also notice that almost none of them have crooked teeth. And all this happens because the same forces that apply when chewing tough foods is the exact same as having your tongue in the correct posture. And then you look at the food scene in North America, where everything is softer, it's more processed, and it's a lot easier to chew. It's almost like baby food. It's no wonder so many kids are getting braces nowadays. So, no fancy gimmicks. Just start eating real, unprocessed, tougher foods like meat, raw carrots, and watch your jaw naturally develop, no math required. The problem is that you can lose the fat, you can develop a really nice jaw, but your face base might still be incomplete due to one more key detail. Because imagine you have this beautiful, amazing anime face. Look at it, it's perfect. Then somebody shoved a needle under your skin and gave you just a little bit of water. All those pretty little features are gonna be gone. So to maximize your face base, you need to lower water retention. One way to do this is by forcing the water to get out of your face. A lot of people on the internet like to put ice on their face, dunk their face in cold water so that the swelling goes down and you look less bloated. And you can do this in the morning because your face is naturally going to be more puffy, but there is a better way. Now, a lot of people in this space like to say that in order to lower water retention, you gotta lower your sodium intake because your body naturally balances sodium with water, so the less sodium, the less water. And in a sense, this does make sense. But honestly, I don't think this is the way. In my experience, lowering sodium maybe did lower water retention a little bit, but it also made me a lot more tired and a lot hungrier. So instead of lowering sodium, I lower my carbs. Carbs do a much better job at holding water than sodium does. So going into a keto or low carb diet will drastically shed water weight in the first 7 days. In fact, I started a ketogenic diet earlier in January, and look at my face. It's gorgeous. So you don't need to lower salt intake. In fact, I recommend increasing it for 2 reasons. For one, when you do go on a low carb diet, you will naturally lose more water and naturally more electrolytes. So supplementing will be very necessary if you want to maintain healthy function. And second, it works in your favor to manage water retention better. When you increase electrolytes like potassium and magnesium, they actually help to work with sodium to regulate water retention even better than sodium by itself. And fun fact, most people are deficient in potassium and magnesium. That's not fun at all. Now, you can go ahead and chug a bunch of magnesium supplements and shove a bunch of bananas down your throat. Pause. But if you want a simpler solution, just drink Element, which is the sponsor of today's video. Element's drink mixes are legit the tastiest ways to get your electrolytes in. No junk, no food dyes, just a scientifically backed ratio of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. It's everything you need to get that face card, so it's an absolute no-brainer. I have been drinking Element every day for months now. Not only have I noticed improved water retention in the face, but I have far better performance and energy in my training, especially when I do Muay Thai. And I'm much more focused during the day when I have Element first thing in the morning. My personal obsession are Element's sparkling canned beverages. Black cherry lime is actually fire. Citrus, being my second favorite, is just chef's kiss, tastes like Sprite. And they even have a raw, unflavored type if that's what you prefer. Right now, you can get a free sample pack with any purchase if you use my link, drinkelement.com/KevinZhang. Not only are you getting free stuff, but they have a 30-day money-back guarantee where you can buy it, try it, and if you don't like it, they will just give you your money back. Again, that's drinklmnt.com/KevinZhang, or click the link in the description to start making those face gains. Now, once you have the perfect face base, you're ready to step into pillar 2. Here we start going full Sungjin Woo mode, because just as he can customize his stats, we are going to be customizing our own face stats. But before we begin, let me tell you the wrong way to customize your face, so you never make the same mistake that I did. I had first started getting into glowing up, looking better, dressing better. I was getting ready for this networking event. I practiced my posture, my speech patterns, and I even practiced my smile. I dressed nicely, I smelled good, I was ready to go. And at the event, I was mingling comfortably, trying to get out of my comfort zone, talk to more people, making eye contact, and smiling quite a bit. But the people I was talking to looked mildly uncomfortable whenever I spoke. It wasn't obvious, but it was just a subtle ooh, I really want to leave the conversation. I thought maybe, I was boring them. I wasn't saying exciting things, but it didn't bother me too much that night. When I got home and I was getting ready for bed, I gave just a little smile in the mirror, just to see how I was doing. And then that's when I realized why everybody was mildly uncomfortable around me. 2 massive clumps of nose hairs just sticking out of my face every time I went to strike a smile. For the love of God, trim your nose hairs. Take a look at handsome ass Gojo. Give him some nose hairs and he's chopped. So please invest in some nose hair trimmers. Similarly, you gotta make sure you clean up the rest of your facial hair. The big one is the brows. Nobody can rock a unibrow except Frida Kahlo. So pluck between your brows and try cleaning up the edges. Makes a big ass difference. But customizing your facial aesthetics isn't just about what you take away, it's about what you add. Now in November, I started experimenting with some facial customization. I am of course talking about facial hair. Good facial hair can complement your features, but bad facial hair can make you look homeless. If you are going to grow a full-on beard, make sure that it contrasts with the rest of your face. A long, messy beard with long, messy hair, just not gonna look good. So if you got messier, longer hair, go with a nice, shorter, cleaner beard. And look at Charlie, cute little fella. And if you already do have cleaner hair, you can always go with a messier sort of beard. Now, if you're like me and the many people that cannot grow a beard, here's what you do instead. What I used to do is let my crap grow out for months just to try to get some semblance of a beard over here because I could only grow over here. But those ugly patches of hair and unkept long mustaches, it's just gonna make you look worse. So I decided to work with what I got and just go with a disconnected goatee. This facial hairstyle helps to accentuate features like the lips and also helps to make the chin look sharper. It kind of draws a line, as you can see. Just make sure you trim it so it's not gnarly and long, and shave the uneven patches that are around your face. Now, of course, you can always go clean shaven if that's your preferred vibe, if you want a more youthful, clean look. But facial hair isn't the only way to accessorize your face, because most of us wear these bad boys right here. But a lot of us have no clue how to pick out glasses that complement our face. So here is my simple ass guide to glasses. The most important rule, once again, is contrast. If you have a rounder face, go with sharper, more square frames. If you already have sharper features, it's better to go with rounder, softer frames. Here's an old picture of me with square glasses versus my round ones right now, which complement my face far better. Second is frame thickness. If you want to draw more attention to your eyes, go for much thicker lenses. But if you more so want to direct attention to your whole face and you don't want to try to cover anything up, then thinner frames are much better. Especially for me. I chose these frames because, my eyes are very small. And I also got glasses that specifically have these kind of cut off because my eyebrows are one of my stronger features on my face, and I don't want to cover them up. And of course, glasses width. Generally, you want your frames to end where your cheekbones sit. A lot of people pointed out in my old videos that my glasses look too small for my face, which is why I got a wider pair more recently. But the big problem is that even if you achieve a lethal face card and you are the most gorgeous being in existence, it doesn't always stay that way. Things happen, you start to fall off, and you're back to your old, ugly self. The reason why? It's because you've made everything way too complicated, which is why in Pillar 3, we need to focus on making things as simple as possible. We need to focus on reducing complexity and coming up with the most minimalist face care that we possibly can. But Kevin, the reason anime characters' skin looks so good is that all the artist has to do is fill in the face with one color. Your life is a joke. Correct. To both of these. Because if we want our face card to look awesome and maintain its awesomeness, the process needs to be as simple as just filling in line art with Microsoft Paint. And we can do this with a simple 3-step system. The first step makes things very simple and, in my opinion, one of the most important things to start with. What you do to your face has a big effect on your face card. But what has an even bigger effect is what you put in your face. And I learned that the hard way. I had been on a clean, whole food diet for quite some time last year. And so I decided, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna go out to eat. And I ate whatever the hell I wanted, however much I wanted, no restrictions, fried food, dessert, cake, processed stuff. I had everything. Then I wake up in the morning, pimple on my forehead, pimple on my chin, pimple on my nose, pimple on my cheek. It just goes to show that eating the wrong thing, even just like for a day, can ruin your face card quite a bit. So focus on cleaning up your diet, and that's going to be a great way to maintain your face card in the long term with much less effort. Pro tip, if you want to eat food that's really good for your skin, try drinking bone broth. Lots of collagen, very good for the face. It's life hack. It's so good. But there's one face card process that people overcomplicate all the time, and I see it everywhere on YouTube, and that is skincare, which is step 2. Now, when you see these like glass skin, 20-step skincare tutorials, it just overwhelms people. It makes it harder to sustain it over time, and it can get a little expensive. But it doesn't have to be this way, because my skincare routine is as simple as I could possibly get it. And even an esthetician which is a fancy word for skin expert, said,
"Damn, whatever you're doing, it's working."
and of course I said thank you. So here's all you need to do. It is stupid simple. First thing in the morning, face is gonna be dry. So you moisturize that bad boy. Second, light from the sun, light from your phone, light from your computer. It's gonna shine a bunch of UV. It's gonna age your face more. Gotta protect it with sunscreen. And that's all you need to do in the morning. Just 2 things. Then we move on to before bed. First, you gotta wash your face, get rid of the dirt, the sweat, the extra sunscreen off. Then apply toner. This is gonna help prevent pimples because it makes your pores smaller. Next, repair some of the damage with a vitamin C serum. Then after that, moisturize again because all of that washing is just gonna leave your face dry, especially throughout the day. Your face is just gonna get dry over time. And if you want to, once a week, use some exfoliating thing to get rid of like the deep dirt and whatever. If you even found that complicated, I'm just gonna simplify it even further. Are you ready for this? Moist, protect, wash, tone, serum, moist again. 6 steps, 7 if you really want to include exfoliating. But even more important than skincare, the best way to simplify your face card process is just changing up your lifestyle. I know all of you guys are anime fans, and some of you are kind of stinky. How many times do you change your sheets? And be honest, if you said anything more than 2 weeks, brother, you've got some explaining to do. Bacteria builds up on the pillowcases, and that pillowcase is touching your face, and that's gonna ruin your face. Similarly, drying your face with the same towel that you use to dry your ass, it's not good either. So use a dedicated face towel. And here's a less common one. The water from your taps is not as clean as you think. So if you're scrub-a-dub-dubbing your face with this tap water, it's good to invest in a shower filter so that you are washing your face with clean water and you're not adding some weird stuff to it that you don't want there. But the problem is that even if you do everything in this video and you get that lethal face card, it all means nothing if the hair on your head makes your face shaped like Megamind or Lord Farquaad. Just take a look at my face here with just a slightly different haircut. Big ass difference. So watch this video right here to make sure you have the perfect haircut to complement your lethal face card.